Hey, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on the new Almay Skin Perfecting Healthy Biome makeup. I guess that's how you say it. It's got SPF 25. It does retail for $13.99 at Ulta. It's got six different color options. I got mine in the color 110 Light. So they did have a fair and a light. I usually am the next one up. It says that it's supposed to have a lightweight feel. It's supposed to hydrate. It's a tinted moisturizer. It's got the SPF, and then it also has antioxidant vitamin E skincare ingredients like a normal BB cream. So it's supposed to be a tinted moisturizer, protection from the SPF, skincare stuff like BB cream. Plus, it's got buildable coverage of a foundation. It says that it gives a natural dewy finish that lasts all day. And then the other thing that they mentioned was that this is reusable packaging. So I don't know, they gave some 27% is post-consumer resin materials and the cap is 43%. So that's kind of cool. So it is formulated for sensitive skin. It's fragrance free. It's hypoallergenic. It's got all the good stuff in it. So, and it's also, I think, cruelty free. Yeah, it's cruelty free as well. So definitely some good benefits. I'll be honest with you, I haven't tried a lot of Almay products. Like when it came out, it looked interesting just because, especially during the winter months, my skin is very dry. So I was looking for something that gave me that dewy finish, but then also helped with my dryness. And anything basically that says like hydrating or that it promises the hydration, I jump on board for because my skin is so dry. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna do an application and then I'll come back at the end of the video and let you see how it wore all day. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I have put on my regular moisturizer, my skincare stuff or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this. I'm just using a regular foundation brush. I really need to clean my brushes, but this is the Jaclyn Hill JH03. I love this brush. This is something, the It Cosmetics and the Jaclyn Hill, this one, are the two most used foundation brushes that I have, but I am noticing that the Jaclyn Hill is kind of breaking, but it's been used. It's been used and abused. So I'm gonna go in and just kind of dab it all over the place. So I did get mine in the color light, as I mentioned before. There is a fair one and then there's light. That's usually the color that I get, but I find with this one, for whatever reason, this is just a little bit too dark. I mean, you can see the color on my skin. It's just a tad too dark, which is kind of surprising to me because, like I mentioned, like every single time, oh, my eyelash just came off. I'm doing another video with these eyelashes, so don't worry about that. That's in a different video. That is the Kiss at Home Falscara eyelash extension thing. So stay tuned for that so I can give you my final thoughts on my eyelash coming off in the middle of this video. Awkward. But anyways, you can see here, it's just a little bit too dark for my skin tone. It just needs to be a little bit lighter. But overall, it's got pretty good coverage. I don't have any complaints with the coverage. So normally what I do is I go in with just a little bit because I hate to use concealer on my dry areas of my skin, which is my T-zone, just because it does look kind of cakey looking and it gets caught in all my dry skin and all that stuff. So usually what I do is I'll take a beauty blender. Well, this is the Real Techniques blender. But I'll take it and I'll just kind of go in and focus the product on the area that I need the coverage the most. As you can see, I don't have a ton of stuff to cover up. I don't have any dark spots or anything like that. It's just general unevenness, but then also just redness. And I usually get red right in my T-zone. So I just kind of take the product and, you know, kind of work it into my skin. I always will apply the foundation with this, or with the foundation brush, and I always go in with the Real Techniques blender and just kind of buff it into my skin. That's what I do for every single one of my foundations that I use, and it seems to really, really work, and it works in this case as well. So as you can see, it does provide a decent amount of coverage. I would say it's probably medium, and you can definitely get full coverage. The consistency of the foundation is kind of mousse-like. It's not super, super heavy, but it's not liquidy at all. I would say it's kind of in the middle. So I feel like you could work this foundation up to a full coverage and not have to worry about the like getting cake face or anything like that. I feel like it's natural. It does look pretty on my skin, but the problem I have with it is I think it looks better on camera than it does in person. In person, it just doesn't seem, and I don't know if you can see it, like right in here, it really accentuates my pores. And I do not have big pores. It's not like a, hey, I don't have any big pores, like look at me. But I don't have I don't have large pores. But right in here, as I'm kind of noticing my aging, it kind of accentuates that area of my mouth. And obviously, I mean, it's a sore spot for me because I'm noticing it. So I'm going to be a little bit more, you know, toned in on that. But even up here, it just kind of just accentuates. And again, it's not really picking up on camera. I feel like it's really pretty on camera. It has, as you can see, this kind of glowy finish to it. It's definitely not a matte formula, but I just don't like the way that it makes my skin look, and it kind of accentuates those areas. Now, what I will say is there are some times where I will set, like especially my forehead because it's not as dry, I will set my forehead with some powder, with some setting powder, and it tones down the accentuation of those pores. But the problem I have with my skin tone is right in here, that's the driest part, so I cannot use powder at all. Like I cannot set my face. So the areas that I normally would like to use powder on, I can't because of my skin type. So that's a downside. As far as other skin types, again, that's just my thing. I think it's a really pretty foundation. I'm not excited about the fact that there's only six color options. I think if I tone down one more, I don't know if the fair, the one lower than this, the fair one would work well with my skin. I just think it's a little bit too dark. Just a tad. And I would probably mix it with something just to kind of get like a lighter foundation or whatever. But to me, it doesn't work for my skin tone, so that's why I didn't want to go out and get a fair one. But if you're somebody who has dry skin, I think this would be a really good foundation for you because it doesn't, throughout the day, it's very comfortable. You can kind of feel it on your skin, but it does kind of dry down. It does leave this like pretty luminosity, kind of that dewy finish, but it's not overdone. It's not like, oh my gosh, she looks like she just came from a sweatshop, or from, you know, the humidity in Florida or anything like that. It looks very natural. It looks very pretty. It is not something that I think is a very long wearing foundation. I feel like, and you'll see, I'll come back, I feel like it kind of does break up during the day and it just kind of tones down and it doesn't look as pretty throughout the day. But for the weekends, like if you're just running errands and you just want something quick and easy, I think it's pretty. I think it kind of evens out your skin tone. And supposedly there's that prebiotic complex that's supposed to help your skin kind of be like skincare, and nourish, perfect and protect. So it has that sunscreen in there and it's supposed to help your skin throughout, you know, the more that you use it, kind of a skincare product. So I don't know about that, just because it didn't particularly work for me. So I'll come back at the end of the day and let you see what it looks like at the end of the day so you can see how it wears. Hey, so I'm back. So I said that I was gonna come back yesterday and film at the end of the day makeup, but I completely forgot. So it is the next day. I went ahead and did my makeup the same way, aside from my eye makeup, obviously, but I took my eyelashes off, so that's why it's different. I did have lash extensions when I did the previous video, but they started falling off today. So, but everything else is the same. I use the same technique as I did yesterday. So just wanted to come back on here and show you guys what it looks like at the end of the day. I do have a little breaking up right here. I don't know where in the world that is coming from. The only product, when I try out a product, I only try one thing out at the same time. I don't know. I've been using this product for a week. I couldn't imagine that after a week it would start breaking me out, but I'm not sure. But you can see like it's starting to break up here. It definitely broke up around this area right here and around my chin. So those are the areas that I have the most redness. I do pack it on as much as possible, but those are also areas that I feel like probably move the most of my face. So it's definitely not horrible. I think it looks better in camera than it does in person when I'm looking at my skin. it looks like skin. I mean, it's just not perfect skin. So it's definitely a natural looking foundation. I can tell you that when I was on a WebEx call today for my work, somebody commented how glowing my skin was. They said I looked very radiant and angelic. And I was like, oh, really? Same lighting, same camera, same everything. The only difference was this person hadn't seen me with this foundation on. So it is definitely a foundation that I think translates well on camera. And in person, it just looks like your skin. Like it's not anything that when I look in the mirror or whatever, I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It makes my skin look flawless. It's okay. It looks like my skin, with just a little bit of coverage or whatever. So definitely not the worst foundation. It's not for me. It is not my favorite. I feel like there's other foundations that I personally have tried that I prefer. But if you're looking for a foundation that does have that coverage, does kind of give you that skin look, and is easy to build up, and supposedly has the skincare ingredients, then definitely check out Almay. The other thing, the one caveat I would say is, I was a little disappointed, definitely disappointed in the color options, but I usually, like I mentioned, am never the fair one. I'm always the one up. And I feel like it's just a tad bit too dark. I feel like the fair might be a tad bit too light, but the color options, to me, they could definitely expand those. So that's probably my biggest con. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Please leave your comments below. If you've tried this foundation, please let other viewers know what you thought of it. This is my personal opinion. This is my skin. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So definitely want to use this platform as an education resource. So please leave your comments below if you have tried this product and what you thought of it. Until next time, bye.